given that you've basically demonstrated to the world that this is possible for a commercial airline to fly across the Atlantic, 100% sustainable aviation fuel.
You've nailed it. I don't need to say anything.
It's an incredible feat.
Yes.
So if
I feel that I should be asking you the question. Please tell me about this flight.
This is a hard question to answer because there's a long journey ahead. But what would you say is your next step now that you've had this success today and you get to enjoy that success?
You're right. It's a long journey ahead, and the next milestone is 10% sustainable aviation fuel by 2030. Today in the world, there's only 0.1% of jet fuel is sustainable aviation fuel. So the scale up required by 2030, not for Virgin Atlantic, for the world, is 100 to 150 times of what we have today. So that's a big, big challenge. By flying here today on Flight 100, we've shown that it can be done safely, and that's at 100%. So it's a long road ahead. I think that for decarbonizing aviation, there's really two big levers that you can pull. One is have the best and youngest second generation fleet, which we do, and we've reduced our carbon emissions by 35% already over the past decade. The second is sustainable aviation fuel. And for that, it requires a radical collaboration of everyone, governments, oil majors, aviations, entrepreneurs, technology companies, manufacturers, to come together and create the environment and the conditions for this to be manufactured at scale. So it's going to be a long road ahead, but I think it's the one that we have to take.
Must be some sense of relief too for a consumer that's looking at this in 5 to 10 years, saying, okay, Shai did this. Shai was on the test flight, the first flight to do this. So what would you say to a consumer that comes to you and says, I'm nervous because this is so new?
I would say, first of all, it's not me who was on the flight. There were, Richard Branson was on it. His daughter was on it.
Yeah.
Many members of the consortium and Virgin Atlantic people, Secretary of State.
Yeah.
It smells like jet fuel. It looks like jet fuel. It is jet fuel. It worked like a dream.